In this podcast, I'm going to teach you the art behind how successful people think so that way you can unlock your full potential in your business, career, or even in your personal life. So growing up, man, I was an absolute Kobe fan. As a matter of fact, you can see him right over my shoulder. I loved everything about him. What I love about him most, though, wasn't about how good he was on the court, but it's all about how he thought. The way Kobe Bryant thinks about himself on the court, his abilities, it separates him from everybody else on the court. As a matter of fact, you may have heard of this thing called the Mamba mentality. And unfortunately, when he passed, a lot of players, a lot of people that didn't even play basketball, right? They dedicated their lives to living in the Mamba way, right? Which is the idea of getting 1% better. This way that Kobe saw himself was very attractive for a lot of people, myself included. And this is what made me go from liking Kobe or even loving Kobe to being an absolute fan of who he was. As a matter of fact, one of the craziest things that I saw when he passed was that there were people all the way in Thailand, China, across the world, right? So not just here in America, right, where the NBA is, but across the world, there are all these monuments and dedications that were made to Kobe Bryant because, again, of who he was, right? Of course, he was a great basketball player, but what really touched people was who he was off the court and how he saw himself, how he pushed himself, the mindset behind the madness. And that's what I want to teach you guys about today. This whole podcast is going to help you to see how successful people think so that way you can adopt that mindset, apply it to your own life so that you can reach some of the rewards that you're looking for. Because the thing that's stopping you right now from accessing your goals and your dreams is not about your talent, because I trust that you are talented, but it's the mindset behind your talent. It's the person that you are that's getting in the way of all the things that you want. And once we're able to unlock them, you'll have everything that you're looking for in life. And that is the goal of this podcast. So guys, before we get to the first point, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can be a part of this community. This is a community of working professionals and entrepreneurs that are working to overcome any limiting mindset beliefs that they have so that they can become the people that they need to be when it comes to their business, their career, their personal life, whatever the case it may be. That is what this podcast is all about. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get into the first point. All right, so like I already said, guys, I'm a big sports fan. Now, here's the thing about me in sports. I do not watch the regular season when it comes to basketball. I barely watch it when it comes to football. But when it comes to the playoffs, that's when I'm an absolute fan. And the reason why is because during the regular season, anybody can beat any team, right? The lowest team on the totem pole can beat the highest team on the totem pole, right? So anything can happen. There's actually a movie and a saying called Any Given Sunday. And it goes like this. Any given Sunday, anyone can win and anyone can lose. But when it comes to the playoffs, it's absolutely different. The reason why is because the coaches and the athletes, they go to a whole nother stage when it comes to preparing for those games. They go to a level that they don't go to during the regular season because now it's a winner take all. If you lose in the playoffs, especially if it's football, right, where it's a one-game elimination, everything that you worked for the past 17, 18 weeks, it just goes down the drain. So, man, preparation is key, right? It's everything. So the reason why I bring this point up is because I want to give you guys a point from Sun Tzu. Okay, Sun Tzu was one of the greatest Chinese military colonels of all time. And this is something that he said. He said, victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first, then seek to win. This quote was all about preparation, right? When there's a coach or an athlete going into a playoff game, chances are they've already won the game. And now they're just going out and playing out the game plan. They're letting the script play out, right? And it's because they prepare all throughout the week, or in some cases, all throughout that season for this moment. For you, I would ask you, how are you getting wins before you go to the game? How are you getting your wins before you go to war, right? What are those things that if you do them, if you prepare in those areas, it'll make you unstoppable? For me, when I do my podcast, one of my wins is writing out my scripts. It's researching topics that I know my clients, my viewers need to listen to. That is how I get these wins. Plus, I have over 150, probably over 160 podcast episodes now. So there's a lot of preparation that has gone into this, right? So I've gotten my wins so I can come to the camera and be able to present to you guys some life-changing information. But for you, how are you preparing, right? How are you preparing for your day as an entrepreneur, as a business owner? How are you preparing to go back into the dating field, right? Whatever it is for you, how do you prepare? Once you get those wins, all you have to do is play out the script. You know, there's something that John Wooden, he said, and it was something along the lines of the process dictates the outcomes, right? The process dictates the outcomes. He never got too concerned about the scoreboard because he said that when he went to practice and they did everything in the practice that they needed to do, the scoreboard will take care of itself, and this is what preparation will do for you. And also, I'll give you guys this bonus point. So Jim Rohn, but also a lot of famous people have once said this. They said that for every minute you spend preparing, you save 7 to 8 minutes when it comes to execution. So whether it's Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, a lot of these personal development guys, they've all said this, and there's a lot of studies that go to back this up. For me, I have my journal right here, and I prepare every day with a to-do list. For you, how are you preparing for your day? How are you preparing to be the best version of yourself? Focus on this and everything else will take care of itself. Trust me. All right, quote number 2, guys, and this comes from Winston Churchill, and he says that a pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. What I love about this quote is that they both, right, whether you're a pessimist or optimist, they both see something similar. They both see an opportunity. But the thing is how you see that opportunity that changes everything. You know, I was working with my Facebook ads coach, and unfortunately, we came through tough times. And one of those tough times is that the fact that Facebook has this new policy that makes it harder for people like me that works in the health and wellness industry to track and improve their ads because of this whole PHI, so patient health information, right? They don't want to get sued for people knowing whether you deal with depression or diabetes or cancer or whatever it is. So because of that, it's hard for me to get information back to Facebook. So long story short, it makes it hard, right? And as a result of that, it makes it tough for me to get a better ROI on my ads, on the money spent. So what we had to do is we had to shut down my Facebook ads account. But here's the thing, we went back and started to look at ways that other companies have circumvent this problem, and we found a solution, and now we're about to roll out that new solution. Now, here's the thing I gotta realize. There are thousands of other people in my industry that are going through this exact same problem, and they threw in the towel. They told themselves, I'm not gonna do any Facebook ads. I'm just gonna give it up, maybe go back to my 9 to 5, or just find other ways to market my business. And guess what that does for me, guys? It makes the competition less stiff. It creates this blue ocean for me because there's this difficulty that someone else was not willing to go through. That is where you can find opportunity in every difficulty that you go through. As a matter of fact, when it comes to a blue ocean, and to define what a blue ocean is, it's basically a space in business where no other company can touch you. In other words, there's no other sharks around, right? Because the opposite of a blue ocean is a red ocean, which basically means a bunch of sharks are eating up all the little fishies, and there's no room to be able to eat, if you will, right? So me being in this blue ocean, it ensures that I have a higher success or high likelihood of being successful because there's something difficult that other people don't want to do. What I want you guys to do is I want you to find something that is hard, something that is difficult, and ask yourself, what is the opportunity that lies within this difficulty? Because if you're the person that is persistent through this difficulty, you'll find yourself in a space where not other people are. You actually find yourself in part of that top 1%. Again, this goes back to the Kobe mentality, right? The Mamba mentality. Find something hard, go through it, and watch the rewards come your way. But if an opportunity comes your way, you're the first one to doubt or see all the things that you would lose by going through this opportunity, by trying to take advantage of this opportunity. You would be someone that would talk yourself out of it, and unfortunately, you'll stay in the stuck place that you're in. There's a great quote, I hear this by a lot of people, but they say, life is going to be hard, right? No matter how you cut it, how you slice it, right? Life is hard. But here's the thing, you could choose your hard. You can make life hard now and easy later, or you can make life easy now and hard later. And trust me, you don't want the latter. So make your life hard right now, go through the difficulty, and watch how things start to change for you. And it's only because you decide to be persistent in that difficulty. All right, so I'm so glad you guys made it to the end. And the reason why is because this is by far the most heavily quoted quote that I give to all my clients. Just last week alone, so I see about maybe 20 to 24 clients in a week. I probably shared this quote with probably like 8 of them, right? So a lot of them, right? Now, this quote is something that has gotten me through a lot of stuff, right? And I want to share it with you guys here right now. So this quote is called "The Man in the Arena." So it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who actually is in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst if he falls, at least falls while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never knew victory nor defeat. And that's by Theodore Roosevelt. Guys, it's not about being the person that says, hey, you could have done this better, that better. It's all about being in the arena. It's all about being that guy that's doing the work. And right now, trust me, there's more people that is in the arena fighting, right? That's at that place where they don't know if they're going to make it, don't know if all the work that they put in is going to pan out. There are more people in the middle of that, right, than there are people that have made it, okay? So I want to point something out. Sometimes it can be really easy looking on Instagram and seeing like all the people that are, whether it's 7-figure entrepreneurs, 8-figure entrepreneurs, that has the wife, the family, the husband, the big house, like, it's easy to see those people, but trust me, there are a lot of people that are working towards those things, right? And I don't want you guys to feel discouraged because you're not a part of that small percentage, right? It doesn't mean that you're not going to be there, but right now it just means that you're working to get to that place. Now, the worst place you can be is the person outside of the arena, the person that has no intention of even starting on those paths, right? So starting a business or maybe going back to school so that they can get a better degree, so they can get a better job, right? To be in that space, the people that are very pessimistic, right? Not even optimistic, but pessimistic. That is a scary place to be. But also it's an easy place to be as well because there's no risk, right? All the risk is by the people that are in the arena because they risk failure, they risk rejection, they risk heartbreak, right? Have you ever known what it felt like to strive for a goal and then miss it and to know that at that moment it wasn't going to happen? That could be a tough feeling to experience. Now here's the thing. There's nothing better than striving for a goal that you've once failed at, only to see that at the end, you did have what it took. It just took some more time, right? It didn't take more of this or that. You just needed to be patient and keep working. Guys, stay in the arena. You know, there's a famous quote that goes around. The latest person I heard say this is Denzel Washington. He says, those who can do, and those who can't, they talk about those who can. So don't be the person that's doing all the talking. Be the person that's doing all the doing. I know we're called human beings, but right now, I want you to be a human doing. What is it that you're doing so that you can become the person that you're hoping to become? Guys, stay in the arena. I'll say this last thing and then I'll wrap up. So I had a client who just recently was outside of the construction business, right? That's something that he loves to do. And he's been outside of that business for about 2 or 3 years, right? So just haven't really been working in it, took some time off. And he asked me a question one day in therapy. He asked me, he said, Coach, I have a lot of anxiety behind whether or not I still have it, right? Whether or not I can still get out there and operate with some of the best. And what I told him was that he was asking a really bad question. Something that you learn is that if you ask yourself bad questions, you're going to get bad answers. And what he was doing was asking a bad question, which brought a lot of bad anxiety. So I asked him to change the question. I said, the question that's better than asking whether or not you got it is to ask yourself, are you in the arena? Because by being in the arena, it doesn't matter if you have it or not, because eventually you will have it. And it's all because you are in the arena. So with that being said, I'm going to summarize these 3 main points, these 3 main ways to help you to see the art behind how incredibly successful people think. And the first point that I made was that victorious warriors win first, then go to war, while defeated warriors, they go to war and then seek to win. It's all about preparation, guys. When you prepare, the outcome, it's almost going to automatically fall to you. So make sure that you prepare. And as John Wooden said, the scoreboard, it'll take care of itself. The second point that I made was that a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty, by Winston Churchill. Now, what that simply means is that, guys, there's going to be opportunities, but it's how you see them that really counts. Because if you find an opportunity that's tough and you stick in it, there's a good chance that you'll find yourself in the blue ocean, while other people see an opportunity and they scare themselves because of all the things that they fail to risk, right? Or all the things that they could possibly lose, if you will. And then the last quote that I made by Theodore Roosevelt, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just stay in the arena. Be the man in the arena. The second that you start talking about the people that are in the arena is the seconds that you're losing and practicing your skill, becoming who you need to be, all those things. So make sure that you're staying in the arena. All right, guys, my name is Coach Wells. I'm a licensed therapist. Thank you for checking out this podcast. And again, make sure you hit the subscribe button. All right, I'll see you guys later.